Hejka wszystkim. W dzisiejszym odcinku poговорим how I learned English and closer. Okay, so I got a story to tell, like what I and my tips might be helpful for some watchers, and so how I learned English. And I would say that my journey took me quite some time, like about 12 years, but I was already speaking at about seventh year. Yeah, and I started kind of like first attempts wasn't really successful, but later I got kind of the hand of it, the grasp of it, and I got really better. And my key, I think, was kind of the systematic approach. And I also want to point out that no matter how many times I kind of like almost dropped it, I kind of returned to it, and I haven't just been returned, but I spent kind of like years and years. And what those years gives you is basically that you find the material that is pretty, the sources that is pretty interesting and valid for you. And like I didn't found like the free like English speaking shows, podcasts, like stuff like that, videos, and but after a few years I kind of found them, like I already was kind of in the good level. And that is kind of the key. The longer you kind of like work on something, the more kind of opens the doors for you, because you can find more sources. And now learning like Danish, German, Japanese, Chinese, somehow I kind of see that like tendency too, because like in first year or second year when you're learning a language, you can't really get there enough of materials from which to study. There are some materials like some textbooks, but they aren't as interesting for you, and you want the systematic approach. You want to have a show to watch, and you also want to have some like speaking book, like some textbook also sometimes to read. You also wanna like something to hear, some some audios that you converted, or maybe audio from a book, or maybe podcast, or something simplified to kind of immerse yourself while you're doing different chores and stuff. And that really kind of, even copybooks like the dictionary that you write, it also like takes huge time. So basically for me it was because I've been learning English for so long. For me there was opened many doors in terms of resources. And another aspect I guess I've done like really good job about is that I had like multiple sources. Like I learned English both at school and at home, and I got really lucky because I got like the TV in English, like there was special channel like English Club TV, and it was really kind of like I get external help. Like it's like, imagine the situation that you studying something, for example math at school, and you also have like a tutoring from on like Saturdays, and you got good teacher, like teachers that you like, and you kind of tutoring over and over and kind of building that potential that later on will grow into something big, huge. Like you see, like this kind of systematic work, it certainly pays off in learn term. Yeah, I guess it also was kind of that I also had enough of relatively free time that I had to dedicate. Like I could choose from different activities. So I guess in that way I got somewhat lucky. But I also want to point out that I had this kind of desire, like originally, that I wanted to kind of learn English and kind of like on a decent way. So that was too, like I kept returning to the learning process, yes. And yeah, I guess that was kind of it for this video. We talked about how time helps, like when you do something on long periods of time, like study for a long time, the resources it opens, and also we covered kind of a few other different basics, and that was it for this video. So stay safe, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Ciao!